So I recently did a job interview. Out of the hundreds of applications that I have sent out over the last few months, I finally secured a job interview. And I wanted to share this experience with all of you today. And I know that there are a lot of people that are struggling right now when it comes to trying to find work. There's a lot of people that are unemployed and are feeling hopeless. And I'm right there with you, honestly. I truly, truly am. And I just want you to know that it's not you, okay? It really isn't. I've come across so many wonderful people that have um years of experience, years of education, bachelor's, master's, PhDs that are struggling to find work. The system is failing you. The system in which that you grew up with, that you said would always be there, is no longer there. And it's really, I think, starting to hit me as well in this sense, and I'm going to jump into it, where I'm kind of like, I don't give a shit anymore. Like I wanted to make this channel to talk and use it as a place to vent and connect with other people, kind of like an online diary, right? And it's never occurred to me to want to do this full time. If it eventually leads to that, then so be it. I think that would be awesome. But in the meantime, I find myself again still looking for work. But I'm also at a point where I'm just like, I don't want to fucking work for anybody anymore. What's the point? What do you want me to say in a job interview? Oh, well, I see myself in 5 years stepping into a management role and dedicating my life to you. And I love your company and I'm going to be a great asset to the team. For what? For what? Knowing that companies don't give two shits about you and that they're going to fucking lay you off anyway when they don't need you anymore. They have to balance the books. I ain't going to tell them what they want to say. And this is the problem. People are tired of the cloak and dagger. They're tired of the two-faced bullshit with companies. I've seen people go into job interviews, they're like, they're asked the question, "Why do you want this job?" And you're like, "Because I have shit to pay." You want someone? Here I am. I'm telling you as it is. You want someone who's going to show up and do the work? Hire me. How is there any difference between someone that goes on a dating app and think you're nice, you're really a nice person. I had a great time with you, but I want to see what else is out there because I want to find that perfect person. Companies do the same fucking thing. Well, this person's good, but I want to keep finding that perfect person. And it's like, there isn't a perfect person. There is none. We're all human. We all have fucked up problems and baggage and all that kind of stuff, you know? And people are just fed up of the fakeness, the bullshit that comes with the 9 to 5 life. And I can't say that I blame them. I had applied for a job as an HR generalist, which is like my baseline. Because yes, I have an HR background, but I don't want to work in an HR generalist position. Because what essentially a generalist position is you're a bitch that's gonna be fucking doing everything, and we're gonna pay you a certain amount, and you can take on more responsibilities, but we're not gonna pay you more for it. That's essentially what a generalist is. We're gonna generalize your job, but we're not really gonna give you a set of responsibilities. So that way you can't come back to us and say, well, hey, that's not a part of my job description. But they'll say, well, no, technically it is. You're a generalist. Whereas if you have a very specific role with an outline set of responsibilities, you know what you're going to be doing for the most part. Anyway, I digress. I applied for a role. I did a virtual interview with the headhunter, the recruiter. We had a lovely conversation, and she pushed me for an interview the next day with her client. And let's just say I had the interview yesterday, and this was a perfect example of just a fucking terrible interview. So it's for a real estate company that has questionable business ethics after the fact. I looked them up. But I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do the interview anyway. As soon as I show up in the virtual Google Meets room, this guy, I would say he's around my age, comes from money, doesn't look like he even wants to be there. Doesn't even really introduce himself. Really, it was the quickest introduction I've ever seen. He's like, "Yes, my name is this. I do this here. Tell me about yourself." I had zero interest to start wanting to tell this person that I don't even fucking know who I am. And like, you could when you walk into a room, I don't know if this has ever happened to you. Maybe you've gone to a store or you've gone somewhere where like if someone just really doesn't look like they give a shit, you're kind of like you'll mimic them. You'll be like, "Well, fuck this. I'm not gonna give you my money. I'm not gonna spend time here. Fuck this," and you leave. It's immediately how I felt. But of course, I went through I was like, okay, start telling them about myself. But I hate because I know what they want to know. They want to know my experience. They have my resume, which I've refined. They see what I have. Ask me a better question that's going to stimulate conversation. Because now you're just asking me to talk about myself in the general sense. And so I do. And again, very monotone, very no smile on his face. And my immediate I'm very good at sizing people up, and I can tell right away that this is the type of guy that's no bullshit. Do your fucking job. Don't complain. Don't talk to me about why it doesn't work. Just show up and fucking go home. No questions asked. And I immediately put myself in the shoes of this working in this company, being like, I don't think I knew right away that I am not going to work for this guy. Absolutely not. I don't want to work here. And then he puts me in a situational question. Asks me a situational question where he talks about if someone was using a company card to buy expenses for a side project they have, how would they, how would you respond? And I responded to this question perfectly. I have been in situations like this with a prior employer where that very scenario happened. It's about gathering evidence, it's about building a file, and it's about presenting the facts in order to address any areas of concern or provide some sort of performance improvement plan or what have you. It's very HR stuff, okay? And it just he nothing, just seemed very like, "Oh, okay. Yeah. And I knew right away from that job interview, this like I was like, I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to work for a company. I don't want to work for a person like you. And I'm most certainly not going to pretend to be someone that you want me to be just for the sake of it. And that's where I'm getting at now. And I feel like a lot of people are getting to that point as well. They don't want to sugarcoat anything anymore. They don't want to bullshit their way through job interview. They just want to work. People just want to work. But then you go into these interviews and they make you feel like they just make you doubt yourself. They make you feel like you are nothing. And I've heard this time and time again from unemployed people that feel like all of their experience, their education is worth nothing because they make you feel like nothing. They question your work. They question any gaps you have on your resume. They question your short stints. They question who you are. And you're there and you're like, and who the fuck are you? Who are you to be judging me? And I feel like people are finally, feeling that frustration. And I think people are just done, which is why we're seeing such a rise in we look at YouTube in particular. There's a rise of people starting to be content creators calling out this bullshit about how hard it is to find a job and how interviews seem to be so fucking unbalanced. You go to 3 to 4 to 5 different interviews only to be rejected at the end, and trust me, I've been there. I've gone to 4 or 5 rounds of interviews only to be told, "Well, finally, we decided to go with another candidate." I'm not applying to be a doctor to save lives here. I'm a recruitment HR specialist. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. I am a people person at heart, which is why I'm doing this YouTube channel in the first place. And companies do not know how to be human. And in fact, we're seeing it time after time with their implications of wanting to put AI. AI is not human. It's the opposite of being human. But they don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about us. They don't care about me. It is what it is. Okay. And I'm putting all my cards into this YouTube channel in hopes of not for me to gain money out of this. No. I'm not driven by money. I'm driven by purpose. I'm driven by engagement. What do I want to be doing day in and day out? What do I know that I'm good at? What can I do to this in this world that's going to make a difference? And if that means calling out a bullshit system or, working with people and helping them realize their full potential so they can go and create a business or they can go and create a YouTube channel and do something that they're passionate by, whatever it is, then I would be the happiest person in the world. Just waking up doing something that I love every single day. And these videos aren't to be negative and be like, "Oh, life sucks." Yeah, life does suck. Life fucking sucks for everybody. You can't be happy every single day. Happy is not a constant. It's something that we feel periodically, stints in time. It just happens. But the majority of people are suffering. They're not happy in the jobs they're doing. They try to find something else only to be second guessed. They're laid off. Life is expensive. People are just trying to survive. They're just trying to get by, but nothing feels like enough anymore. And having myself applied for jobs and been through interviews, doesn't matter how presentable you are. You're just seen as a number. Don't ask questions. They ask you to jump, you ask how high, and you do it, and that's it. Don't challenge the status quo. Don't. Don't come in here trying to expect to change the system because you won't. You'll make it as far to the door as possible only to be kicked out on your ass. That's literally all that it is in today's world. Shut the fuck up, do your work, go home, and don't complain. I'm tired of that. And I feel like a lot of other people are tired of that as well. And the job market sucks right now. It's tough getting an interview. It's tough being considered for a role. And I feel you. I'm right there with you. This is why I want to share this experience that you are not the only one. You are not crazy. You are not unworthy. Your experience, everything that you've lived up to until now means something. Do not let a company or a recruiter or an interview you make you feel inferior because you have a lot to offer this world. Even if that means getting on a camera, doing something, or creating a business, starting a cooking, I don't know, page or dog grooming business, whatever it is that you want to do, do it. And I've been slowly realizing this now. Now, me personally, I don't want to have to be on a camera every single day because I don't want to live my life always connected. I want to capture the real and raw moments. Yes, absolutely. But I don't want to be forced to do it. I want to do it because I want to do it. And that should be the same thing for you. You should wake up wanting to do something, not because you're told to do something. Hang in there. You've got this. Once again, do not let a company or an interviewer or anyone dictate your value ever. Because you have more to offer in this. You have more to offer this world than you actually realize. You just don't see it yet. So, thank you again for being here. Thanks for checking out this video. If you found it helpful to you in any way, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking this video, and leaving a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you and your experiences during this very awkward time in history with this job market, and we need to count on one another. We need to create a community. And I'm happy to be here to continue supporting you all and hearing from you. And yeah, thanks again. Appreciate it. Take care until the next one. I'll see you all soon.